For over 20 years, I've dedicated my life to bringing you the very best selling, marketing, and business building strategies to keep your business thriving. Get ready to experience the success you've been searching for. Welcome to the Tom Ferry Show. Hey, welcome to the Tom Ferry Show, episode 46. 46 episodes. This is good. I'm very pleased with this. Thank you so much, especially if this is, the 46th one you've watched or if it's the first. Today, I want to talk to you about the month of December and the three things that I'm finding the vast majority of the people I'm speaking with are focusing on. And if I could share that message with you to have you have 2016 be your best year ever, well, that's the plan. The three things I'm hearing the most are, it's December, I've got to get organized. I need to make sure that my sales pipeline is robust to start the new year, and I better get the power of right focus working in my behalf so when I do start the new year, I'm focusing on what matters most. So if you and I were walking Balboa Island not too far from my house, or we were meeting inside my office, I would ask you a whole bunch of questions to kind of take a look at your business and where you're at. And then I'd start making recommendations based upon things that I know will move the needle to get you organized, to, make sure that pipeline is ready to go and that you're focused. Now, you're probably not going to do all 8 that I have up here. Pick the 1 or 2 that make the most sense for you, dependent upon what you need to achieve in the month of December to have 2016 be your best year ever. Let's take a look at the list. Under organized, the first thing I wrote down is you should make up a list of what I refer to as the open loops. Think about it like this, like these are all the incomplete projects you have right now. So it might be, I'm still appending the data in my CRM, or I don't really have a good follow-up campaign, or my business plan isn't done. And when you start to look at these open loops, I don't know about you, but when I think about the projects that I've started that maybe haven't been finished this year, I start getting a little bit nervous because I know as those projects get complete, my business becomes more systematic, more organized, things get done, it's smoother, it's easier, and that's the game. So I would ask you first to make up a list of the open loops, the incomplete projects, and then I want you to prioritize. What matters most to you? Is it about revenue generation, which is probably where the vast majority of us are, like I need to generate more top line revenue, so probably marketing is going to be the key, marketing and automation of that, versus say, redoing the files that I've got, like how I'm systematically organizing my files maybe in my office, right? So you're going to prioritize and then schedule a couple hours here, a couple hours there to start closing the loop and getting these projects done. Listen, entrepreneur to entrepreneur, this is where we have to roll up our sleeves, take in the time, and just get to work and get things done. Because when we close those loops, we just feel better about our business. We get more organized. Number 2 on my list, I love this one, inbox empty. Or for many of you, it's time for you to move all of the emails from this year and maybe the last 20 years into a file, save them so you have them, so you can reference them later, but I want you to start the new year completely decluttered. I don't want you to open up your email and see 8,000 emails that you still haven't addressed or things you haven't looked at. Start organizing them into files, or ideally get them out of your eyesight. Super important if you want to be more organized. Now, next one on my list, this is a big one, you ready? I want you to delete 50 to 100 people from your newsfeed. Think about it like this. I was on the plane yesterday, flying back from wherever I was, and I started going through Facebook, then Instagram, then Twitter, and there were people, like when I got on Twitter in like 2007, that I wanted to follow, and today I'm still following them, but there's no relevancy for me anymore. I don't even see them in my newsfeed, so I went through and I just took an hour and just unfriended, if you will, a ton of people that are no longer relevant to me. They're no longer, I don't want them in my newsfeed. I don't want them in my visual, if you will. As simple as this sounds, because we live so much on these, like I'm grabbing for my phone, we live so much on these social devices, it's important that what is inside that newsfeed is the stuff that's relevant and important, or the people that are relevant and important to us. So I know it sounds like an easy one and a fun one. Go through and see if you can declutter your newsfeed and get rid of 50, 80, 100 people on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and just watch how you feel afterwards. Maybe 2016, one of your mantras could be less is more. do less and achieve more, spend time with less people but have more meaningful relationships with them. You with me on this? Less is more. So I know there's 100 more things you can do to get organized. Maybe that's not your issue. Maybe you're like, oh, can we get to the marketing and lead generation because I'm already super organized. And yet, I know the vast majority of people I speak to, you do those three, winner, winner, chicken dinner for 2016. Now, in terms of pipeline, there's three things I'd ask you to consider. Number one is I want you to email every lead you have in your database. Every lead, and I want you to just do one simple line in the subject line. Name. So it's not going to be a spam email of 8 gazillion at once. I'm going to go one at a time. Sarah, are you still planning to buy a home in 2016? Taz, are you still planning to sell in 2016? Not yes or no, just question mark, and send, and watch the kind of response you get. My intent is that you clean up all those old leads, you touch them one more time before the end of the year, and you set up your pipeline for who you need to follow up on and nurture more in the future and who is important right now starting in January, February, March. Super easy to do, and again, it's going to make your pipeline a lot more robust starting the new year. Next one on the list, schedule all of your Q1 marketing, right? Where is your social proof, right? The piece of all the transactions and homes you've done. That should go out in January. What else? If you just stop and think, if I'm in the Northeast, it's going to be like this because I'm going to be about trying to attract as many listing opportunities as I can, getting ready for the spring season. If I'm in Florida or in many of the places in the southern states, you're going to be looking for opportunities for right now listings. You know your marketing. What is the marketing that has to happen in Q1? Spend 4 or 5 hours this week or next and get all the pieces ready. The email, right? The Instagram post, the message I want on a postcard, get it all mapped out. So when you start the new year, you don't have to think, you just execute the plan. That's where the game is. And then the last one I wrote down is, I think you should shoot 10 to 15, maybe 50 plus, of those personal gratitude videos. Everywhere I've been speaking, I've been talking about this, the importance of just, hey, Sarah, it's Tom. I just want to say thank you so much. I know you had an infinite number of opportunities of agents you could have worked with, and the fact that we connected and you allowed me to help you buy your first home was an absolute pleasure for me. And like that personal thank you gratitude video to the 50 transactions you did this year, to the 10 vendor partners you have, your lender, your escrow officer, your title rep, your manager, your broker, your attorney, to thank them that way in a very authentic, real video. Whoa, how powerful would that be in terms of cementing the relationship moving forward? I think that's a no-brainer. Indirectly, it's going to build your pipeline because your awareness for who you are as a great salesperson is going to go off the charts for those people. They're going to be thinking about how do I, repay this favor and find you another referral opportunity or just keep you top of mind. So I like those three a lot. Let's take a look at the last two. In terms of, focus, I'm going to say to you, hey, if I walked into your office right now, if I couldn't say, hey, there's the goals, I'm looking at mine right now. If you walked in the office or I walked into your space and I said, how many people are you trying to help this year? What's your goal? What are you focusing on? How many listings do you want to take? How many sales do you want to make? What's your total addressable market and what's the reach you want? Whatever that is, transactions, goals, income, I don't care, but I know this. There's only two kinds of people on this planet, people with goals and people without goals. And everyone that tells me, oh, I've got it and it's up here, my goal's up here, let me remind you, your head is a scary place to be. And the last thing I want to do is leave my important goals up here with all those crazy thoughts going on. They need to be up. They need to be visual. You can have a countdown clock, 1 to 36 transactions. And every time you sell a house, you put a happy face over it. I don't care, but I know this. Track and measure, track and measure, track and measure, track and measure. Get those goals up, right? Have a scoreboard up. Scoreboard tells you if you're winning or losing. Doesn't matter how you do it, just do it. Next thing is, I'm going to challenge you to say, you got to decide what and how you want to track and measure in 2016. I'm in this dialogue. I was in Vegas a couple weeks ago with 80 of our top Team Plus members, so big shout out to all of them. We went to Zappos, spent a day there. That was really fun. Did the Zappos tour, talked about wow customer service. Spent some time with Steve Murray. Steve Murray is the CEO of Real Trends. Real Trends is kind of the broker's broker. If you wanted to sell your business, you would contact Steve and his team, and they would do a valuation on your business, and they would, like a listing, put it out to the open market. So he's been doing this for like 30 plus years. And we were talking about the difference between the sort of qualitative and quantitative mindset of many business people today. So quantitative is, I know my numbers, I know my systems, I know my process, I know that every time I spend $1, I make 4, I know that every 100 leads equals 2 sales. Quantitative, based on the numbers, based on the data. Qualitative, this is how I feel, this is my gut, this is my emotion. And what we were chatting about is just in pure business, as you look at 2016, look, I do a lot of stuff on gut. I can read numbers and I know my gut instinct is gonna push me in that direction to make a decision, right? Qualitative. The key though is I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the data. And the challenge that I see today, and Steve addressed it with a few of our top clients, he said, if you don't have those numbers, there is no value to your business. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what's going to happen next. I implore you. I challenge you. I pray for you. I beg you. Please decide. Start tracking your business. Start tracking just easy things. How many days are you going to work? And then how many did you actually work? How many hours of power, right? This could be open houses. It could be telephone prospecting. It doesn't make a difference, but you've got to track and measure the activity to say, I did it this many times and I got this result. Now, how do I move that lever faster, more efficiently, and do it better to have 2017 be even more explosive and do it by design? How many contacts? How many people did I talk to and by what source? This many were my past clients, this many for open houses, this many from Zillow, this many from other leads, this many were referrals, this many from relocation, this many from sign calls. And now all of a sudden, I know some of you, oh, I'm already overwhelmed just thinking about it. Here's the challenge. Steve said, qualitative, it's all based on feeling. Quantitative, it's all based on numbers. We know that. It's kind of business 101. The challenge is, if you don't have the data, how do you decide how things are going to be? Remember a few videos back when I said, when I was doing a planning session in New York with about 850 people, one of the questions I got all the time was, where should we focus? Like, what should I be going after in terms of leads? That's all going to be qualitative. It's all going to be feeling and emotion and guess versus, well, where is your business come from? What are the opportunities in the market, right? So I can actually look at, hey, there's X number of transactions happening in this price range in this part of town with this number of agents that are doing X amount of business and a whole bunch of other transactions that are wide open for me. It's more quantitative. It's more data oriented versus feeling oriented. Does that make sense? I want you to be empowered to make better decisions, not just in 2016, but in 17, 18, 19, 20 going forward. So contacts by source, how many listing appointments, how many listings taken, how many listings sold, that's important. How many buyer appointment number 1, initial meeting? Sarah, Tess, so excited you guys are meeting about, talking about buying a house and let me walk you through the process. Like, how many of those do you do versus showings? Really interesting for you to get your hands around. How many of these do I need to do before I start them in the showing process, before I actually write an offer, before I actually have a buyer sale? When you start tracking and measuring all these numbers, you begin to make better decisions about your business. You remove some of the drama and the emotion and what's happening in the market? I don't know, I feel like things have slowed down. Have you heard that from people? Like somehow the market is associated to their physical tummy. I feel like things have slowed down. Can we look at the data? Can we make decisions based on that? Can you make decisions based on your numbers? You do this, you're going to win. 2016 will be your best year ever. So, ready? Do you need to get organized? Do you need to build up your pipeline? Or do you need to just turn that focus into the right stuff to drive your business and have 2016 be your best year ever? Decide of these 8, what 1, 2, or 3 are you going to do and by when? And by when is the key. And then let me know, whether it's on my Facebook page, on my Instagram, my YouTube. Let me know, give me some feedback. I'm always here trying to make it better for you. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, always your strategy matters, and now more than ever, your ability to close the loop, get focused, and build that pipeline really rules. Thanks for watching. If you love what you're seeing here, then click the button below to join our online community absolutely free. Thanks so much.